ख़वातीन और हज़रात, कहकशां के सितारों की महफिल में आज हमारे साथ नायरोबी कीनिया से जुड़ रही हैं ओलिविया ओंगिले। ओलिविया एक क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजिस्ट हैं जिन्होंने एएमयू से 1986 में ग्रेजुएशन किया, फिर 88 में क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजी में मास्टर्स किया और फिर उसके बाद उन्होंने मजीद अपनी तालीम जारी रखी। ओलिविया से दिलचस्प गुफ्तगू करेंगे। वेरी वेलकम ओलिविया एंड थैंक यू फॉर योर टाइम।
Thank you so much, Mr. Mujib. The pleasure is all mine.
Olivia, my first question is that Kenya to India to AMU.
Yes.
How did this happen? I know that AMU is quite popular among some African countries, but not many students are known to have come from Kenya.
Yeah, thank you for that question. First and foremost, Mr. Mujib, it would be important to let you know that, Kenya and India has always had very good diplomatic relations, okay? And therefore, they've always had these exchange programs of students, coming to Kenya, going to India, scholarships pertaining to that. So even before I came to India and Aliga for that matter, there had been many other students who were there, including some of our ministers who are already serving in the government had been students in India, okay?
Yeah.
But then my choice of coming to Aliga, of course, was informed by the fact that my late brother, Arthur Ongile, was already a student in Aliga Muslim University.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So that really encouraged me. He talked well about Aliga Muslim University. And of course, when we did our, bit of getting to know more about it, then, so that is how we decided that
you'll join your brother. You'll join your brother. You joined your brother. What did he study over there?
My late brother Arthur was in economics department, so he studied economics. Economics was his main.
Okay, you said late. Sorry to hear that. He's no more now.
Yes, we lost him last year in September.
Sorry to hear that, Olivia. Okay. You have been an exceptionally good student. I have come to know that you always had a competition for the top slot in your class, right through bachelor's and to master's. So clinical psychology, how did this happen? Was this your choice?
Absolutely. This was my choice. All along as a growing child, I used to see a lot of struggles, emotional struggles and mental health and, people lacking the understanding of even how to deal with such kind of people in the society. So it was indeed my choice. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Then we had the choice to come to Aliga Muslim University and they accepted to give me a place in psychology department. I was happy.
Okay, good. Okay, now I have few technical questions, not tough ones, regarding psychological disorders. Olivia, what do you think is universal about these disorders? I mean to ask that are they universal in nature or they differ from place to place?
I think generally, because if we are talking about the nature, we are obviously talking about the root causes, right? And that is pretty universal.
Right.
That is pretty universal. So, but how they are dealt with and how, the clients are treated could also have certain ethical biases, okay? But generally speaking, the causes of mental health is universal. It's very universal.
Which could be like any poverty or any trauma or anything, which could be anything.
It should, yeah. When you're talking of course, trauma causes, any traumatic incident would cause, some mental health struggle,
Yes.
socioeconomic status, substance abuse, and we also have the genetical, factors to mental health. So it is quite vast, yeah. And in the beginning of trying to understand a client's, struggles, it is important to identify, where some of these root causes could be coming from. And it is there that, you are able to, like, plan on, the right interventions to put in place.
And that does help. Yeah, any counseling helps such patients.
Well, again, that depends because we have the extremities in most of these conditions. Okay, yeah. But psychology does very well with what we refer to as neurotic cases. Okay, now neurotic cases are not exactly very extreme in the sense that a lot of clients will always have an insight into their problems. They do understand that they have a problem and they're functional, and therefore when they come in for psychotherapy, you are at par, at that level. Yeah. So you are able to assess. But again, a lot of times, a lot depends on the time of intervention is very important.
All right.
We have some of those, cases that are progressive. So depending on at what point they are found, okay? Right. So the earlier,
earlier the better.
Yeah. So in terms of severity, the neurotic cases do extremely well with psychotherapy.
Right. Okay. Olivia, last, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry. Again, there are some of these cases that may need to be put on medication, okay, at some point. And well, clinical psychologists do not really prescribe medication. We can refer them to the psychiatrists, okay, who are trained doctors on that specialty of psychiatry that deals with normal, psychology. Yes.
Okay. So now, Olivia, last 2 years have been extremely traumatic for almost all the people. It has been a universal phenomena, this corona, and lots of people are in stress. What is your a general advice to cope up? Many people have lost their loved ones, and some people have lost their jobs. So this is really a trying time. So what is your advice to a general advice to the people to cope the stress we are going through?
Well, again, yeah, you're right. COVID-19 came with a lot of, changes in lives, and we've had an increment of, psychological struggles, and of course, there's some depending on certain underlying factors because people are unique in themselves. People also tend to react to situations differently. There are some people who are very strong mentally, okay, and therefore, even with the struggles, they're able to kind of cope and all that. So my message is this, it has been a difficult period of time that was not anticipated, okay? But it is important to surround yourself, even with, loved ones, Don't break ties with loved ones because they form the social support system, okay? Get into a kind of team, because even being so stationary, like working at home and stuff like that, is not exactly easy, It reaches a point that you feel so enslaved and there are no other options. Right. But it is important just work out a plan, a routine whereby, say, in the morning, I wake up probably at about 6 o'clock. I do exercises, have breakfast, then probably get to some bit of work, take a break, get a routine. Yeah. Right. And also in understanding that this situation is not going to last forever. It will get to a point where we'll sit back and talk about it, Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the optimistic way of looking at the things. So the point is that we have to stay optimistic about all what has happened, and hopefully it will end soon.
Because it's nobody's fault that this thing happened. I mean, it's not our fault that we are in this situation. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I have a sometimes I wonder when speaking or thinking about the psychological disorders. Often we come across certain celebrities who are blessed with almost everything which a common person would dream of, and yet they go through very depressive phases, and some of them have even committed suicide, like Marilyn Monroe and Robin Williams. I mean, Yani, it means to me that success is not does not guarantee a sound mental health. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. You see, even in success, success comes with its own demands.
Right.
And when one is not fully prepared, I personally believe that a lot of our celebrities need to be, guided psychologically and mentally to be able to cope, because yes. I expect the problems begin with coping, okay? Right. Maybe too much popularity, and then they're not able to cope, and then the next thing they get into substance abuse, and then one thing leads to the other and all that. So money is not everything, okay? Or, being high level in a society is not everything. Remember that the causes of mental illness will always remain the same, whether one is of a high standing in the society or a low standing society. There's that level ground, okay, of the causes of mental illness. Okay. But like I've said, I think that needs to be looked into. I don't know who would do that, maybe the governments, for them to be guided, because sometimes it gets difficult for them to cope with that, the limelight and the fame and the money that comes with it. It can be overwhelming.
Right. And it's not easily identifiable. I mean, naturally, I believe that we are in a state of denial when it comes to a realization that we need some counseling. Most of the people are naturally not inclined towards accepting the fact that they need mental or they have some kind of a mental disturbance. So most of the people are in denial mode. So they don't go. It's still in our society, it's still a taboo to talk about psychological disorders.
Absolutely, it's the same, and I think it's, well, I guess the developed worlds are way ahead of us in terms of all this. It's, the stigmatization of mental health, yeah. And it is everywhere, including Africa. It is very much with us, and yeah. It starts with even our governments, even at the policy levels,
Yes.
Like when allocations of monies to go to different departments of the government, you'll always find that mental health lags behind.
Right.
Like in my does, yes. There's very little money allocation.
Yes.
And then it's, that stigmatization.
Right.
we pray that a lot more can be done so that, people are able to talk about it freely and be able to, get help at the right time. Because what usually happens because of the stigmatization I've seen around, the fact that when one starts showing up with certain symptoms, it is the family that begins to stigmatize. They either lock one up, or they'll always have some excuse or the other without just facing or taking the bull by its horn and accepting that, yes, this is actually a psychiatric kind of a situation. We need to see a psychiatrist. No, there's always dilly-dally. People dilly-dally, and by the time these people even get to... Hello, can you see me?
Yeah, I can, yeah.
By the time they get to the hospitals, you find that the damage is of a greater degree.
Right.
As compared, so they could have actually just gone right on the onset of the problem. So it is a big problem, and well, we are still working on it, through advocacy and, campaigns and, just that creating that awareness.
Right.
For people.
So I believe just as more scientific researches are being done on other diseases, this also needs to be addressed more aggressively than to stigmatize the issue and then not allocate enough funds for the researchers. I believe the governments have to take more notice of such issues. Okay, Olivia, let's talk about AMU. You were there for nearly 5 years. Where did you stay there? Where were you staying?
I started off with Dodpur, because that's where my brother was. Yes.
Okay.
And then I went to Abdullah Hall, because I was a boarder there.
Okay.
But then later on, I think when I was getting to second year, I stayed in Amir Nishan.
Okay.
And then ended up in Said Nagar.
In Said Nagar. So you stayed at, lots of places. You have explored almost all the civil lines in Aligarh.
Yeah, it was quite an experience.
Okay, so what was the best thing you like about being in Aligarh?
Well, having an opportunity to be a student in Aligarh Muslim University, because that is what has made me. Okay, so I'm very proud to be associated with Aligarh Muslim University. Okay, so in terms of education, and I'm also very proud of the friends that I met there from India and, of course, other parts of the world. And I've remained very close with my friends that I made in India, in Aligarh.
Okay.
Precisely.
You are still connected? In touch. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. And you have some other Algerians there in Nairobi or in Kenya?
Oh, yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. We do have quite a lot, because we had students who I think did engineering. Most of our good lawyers, well, the good lawyers in Nairobi, there are some of them who came from Aligarh Muslim University. Some of the bankers we have around, psychologists, I think we are about 3.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
From AMU, all 3 from AMU. That's great. Okay, Olivia, who was your favorite teacher in psychology department?
Oh my goodness, can I? It's been years now. There's what was her name? There was an elderly lady. Mm-hmm. I can't remember her name.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And what do you think is your most interesting memory of your stay in your as a student in AMU?
My memorable I think it would be just that integration. Remember, Kenya is not predominant. We have Muslims, but majority are Christians. Okay.
Yeah.
So I happen to come from a Christian background. Okay. Right. Then coming into a Muslim community, getting to integrate with them and to really admire and respect some of their ways. I think I almost became a Muslim because I just loved, some of those ceremonies like Eid al-Fitr and all that, So that integration and just getting to understand that, what, by the end of it all, we are so similar in so many ways, in values and virtues and all that. So that integration and, of course, getting to feel very comfortable within that community and making very good friends who are actually like family. Okay.
Good. Yeah, and that's good to know. That's really wonderful to know. That's really wonderful to know. Okay, and now, do you still watch Hindi movies? Did you watch Hindi movies while you were there?
Oh, I watched a lot of, because that was basically the main source of entertainment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I used to watch a lot of those movies, a lot, and I had my very favorite, actors and actresses. I fell in love with some of the actors. If you got into my room, you'd get posters of Amit Bachchan, Anil Kapoor. There was Shakti Kapoor.
Shakti Kapoor was quite. He was quite a villain. He was not to be admired, I guess. Shakti Kapoor.
I had the understanding that was not him per se, but it was his character, and he used to execute. That's why I love him.
Right.
There was Sanjay Lal and Ramendra Singh and Mithun Chakravarti. For the ladies, there was Meenakshi, there was Sridevi. I felt really sad when Sridevi passed on.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Then there was Hema Malini.
Malini, yes.
And there was this very beautiful one. What was her name? She's still very beautiful. What was her name? Rekha.
Rekha. See, I got you right.
Oh, my goodness. She was and is. Yeah?
Yes, no doubt. She's a very graceful woman and a very good actress as well. Okay. And Olivia, given a chance, would you like to revisit AMU if you're given a chance?
Anytime. Do you know anytime?
Okay.
I've been talking about it with the former Aliga Muslim University students, the Kenyans, that is. We are like, my goodness, we just need to visit. Like, I know of like one of the lawyers back home who was in Aliga Muslim University. He had an opportunity and went back for a visit some few years back. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was so envious. So, oh Lord me, I would love to visit Aliga just one more time.
Do let me know when you are traveling so that I make a point to receive you over there. And yes, inshallah.
Be out of touch. We shall continue being in touch.
Inshallah. Olivia, it was wonderful talking to you, and I wish you all success in your endeavors and your future, your career, everything. It is so lovely to talk about AMU, and you have already spoken about your acknowledgement of what you have received from this university. And as you said, we'll stay in touch. Thank you so very much for your time. and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you so much for your time as well. And this was a lovely experience. I think what I'll do is I'll be connecting you with at least a few more of the Kenyan students who are in Aliga Muslim University.
Please do. Okay? Please do. I would love to. I would love to. Yes. And just it's so very unfortunate that I came to know about you 2 years late, because just 2 years before, the year when Corona started, I visited Nairobi. I went to Masai Mara. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So I loved that place. Nairobi is such a beautiful city, and Masai Mara is just out of this world. It's an amazing place.
You should come back again. You're welcome anytime, and I'm so happy now that we are connected.
Inshallah. 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 God willing. Thank you, Olivia. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.